Alright, so this is basically a review of Bumblebee from RID, and I wanted to show you guys how he works with more contemporary figures. By contemporary, because I'm kind of recording this video circa Cyberverse, circa War for Cybertron, so I want to show you what he looks like in comparison with newer figures, as opposed to showing him right next to, figures from the RID line. Now, the reason I got this Bumblebee is because he's essentially a good representation of what a leader Bumblebee would look like. Yeah, he really nails the look. He very much is an adult version. He's not the same, kid friendly type icon. He's still kid friendly, but he's more of on the heroic side. So I just wanted to really showcase all of that. Now, as with most RID figures, excellent articulation for the most part, except for no wrist articulation and no ankle tilt. So as you can see, there he is. Having some difficulty standing him. I think I might be doing something wrong with the transformation, but I mean, I guess it's okay. So here we have RID Bumblebee all grown up. I like to say that because essentially this is the version of Bumblebee that became his own leader and, his own guy. So that's essentially the reason I got this figure. So this Bumblebee is excellent, very grown up, very mature, still kid friendly, but you get that action hero vibe from him. I just want to point out that while that whole section looks like it's mistransformed, it's actually not, because that's the back part. So that is indeed the front part. Anyway, so yeah, with regard to Bumblebee, wrist articulation is not present, and neither is ankle tilt, but pretty much everything else you would want in terms of articulation is present, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay? Almost everything is there, so you can still make your dynamic poses without needing to worry too much. And yeah, that's about it. But the real purpose of this video is to kind of compare him with more contemporary figures. When I say contemporary, because this was released in 2015, and we are in 2021, where figures like Cyberverse and War for Cybertron are out. So we're basically going to compare how he works with those figures. It might be confusing for some because this is labeled as a warrior class figure. So it begs the question, does it work as a deluxe class or does it work with CHUG figures? When you say CHUG, it's Classics, Henkei, Universe, Generations type figures. So we are gonna take a look at that specifically. So here you have Bumblebee. Let's call him Leader Bumblebee. And he has a sword, which works really nicely with him. This is his Energon sword as he acquired it in RID. I mean, love or hate the show, it's still a natural progression for Bumblebee from Prime to become a leader, and he looks very much leader-like in this look. So I'm gonna show you how he compares size-wise to some other figures I have that are Bumblebee as well. So this is Bumblebee from Origins, or not Origins, but that's what it's called. Origin Bumblebee from the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. Now, this has an adjustable foot, so you can kind of raise him if you want him to have an additional height. Sorry about that. Okay. So there. I mean, it looks a little wonky, but if you wanted him to be slightly taller, that's what he would look like. Let me bring him back to his original height, and you will see that it's definitely, short Bumblebee, tall Bumblebee over here. Just my background. And then here I have Masterpiece Bumblebee, which is essentially, it's on the small side for a masterpiece, but it's perfect for CHUG scale. It's it's slightly bigger than the Netflix version. So that's how all of them look together. You see, very much, okay, so if this is Origin Bumblebee, it's like you're watching him grow up in front of you, which I really like. Okay, so I'm gonna bring these guys off to the side. I'm gonna transform those later off camera so we can compare him to RID Bumblebee. I'm gonna remove this for now. Okay, so to transform him, first thing you want to do is twist the hip, or the waist rather, and then this section is just gonna be easy later. For now, you're gonna want to flip down the feet. You can, sorry, hold on. Yeah, so you're gonna want to flip this section up, and then these sections in, and then this whole section just folds down and forms the car doors. Fairly simple. And then you're just going to want to lock everything in place there. It's a different transformation from what I usually see for Bumblebee, so I like it. And then you just want to bring this whole canopy section up to the back. You know, I'm still considering whether I want to get a Cyberverse Bumblebee, which is kind of in the middle of, if I were to give him a little bit of a history, it looks like it's in the middle of MP21 and this version. So I might still do that. Now that's essentially how he looks in car mode. Fairly easy transformation, but not the usual. You can also store his weapons here on, you see these pegs like in a V shape. Just kind of notch the sword inside, and there you go. He actually looks perfect right next to Cyberverse RC. See, they look like they're from the same line almost. So yeah, and this is how he looks with Earthrise Prime. Not Earthrise, Siege Prime rather. So that's essentially how he looks with the usual CHUG scale, because he is CHUG scale. And that's what's pretty awesome about it is, you know, the Warrior class figures from RID essentially can really expand your Transformers collection if you wanted them to. Now, let's try the Earthrise trailer, if he's gonna fit in, and I can already see that he won't because of the body of the figure. So that's not gonna work, but I have good news. If you guys have been following my channel, if you're a subscriber, or if you've seen me in groups, you would have seen me post the MP21V trailer, which also works for Earthrise and Siege Optimus. Some people don't like that they're kind of wide, but the thing is, they can be wide. And he works excellently with this trailer. So this is an alt mode that you like. Would work perfectly with KBB's MP10V trailer. So I'm gonna go ahead and transform the other Bumblebee figure so you can kind of see how they work together as well. So here he is next to Origin Bumblebee and MP21 Bumblebee, and as you can see, he's much more of a proper car, proper sized car than he was before. As you know, the Volkswagen car would be a little bit on the small side, and of course his spaceship mode is meant to be pancake tiny. But yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it for Bumblebee. I'm very, very happy to have this figure, and I highly recommend it for anyone who would want a more mature version of Bumblebee to go with their other CHUG figures. Anyway, this has been XPaco. Follow me at X_Paco on Twitter and Instagram. And see you next time. Peace out.